Hey y'all, how are you doing? So, today we are back at doing our lives later because we keep forgetting in the morning, but that's okay. What I have learned is commitment is the point. So, all right, so today my topic is I wanted to talk about, hey, how you doing? So today my goal is to talk about 5 ways that self-awareness can help you if you're a coaching client, right? Now, so who is this really for? This is for if you have considered getting a coach. This is for if you have a coach. And this is also just for you to understand that self-awareness is very important to your personal development as well as your professional development. So why am I talking about this? So last week on Friday, I had the pleasure of doing a speaking engagement for a business breakthrough summit. It was so amazing. I had a 20-minute spot and I had an opportunity to talk about the impact of self-awareness and situational awareness in your business, right? So how do you make your business better? Well, as you flow, so does your business. If you don't have you together, your business isn't going to flow. So the goal is for you to have a clear understanding of who are you in entrepreneurship, who are you as a leader, and then also who are you as a money earner, as a producer, as a productive person in your business. Who are you, right? And in order for you to do that, you do need to be self-aware. So y'all know I be taking notes, right? So this time my notes are on a monitor right next to me. So if I look over that way, it's because I'm looking at my notes. So we're going to start with 5 ways that self-awareness can help you if you are a coaching client, want to be a coaching client, or if you want to coach people, right? Self-awareness is important in every aspect of your life and especially in your business. So let's get started. Item number 1, self-awareness helps clients view themselves objectively. Often as individuals, we view ourselves the way we believe people perceive us. But there are times when there's a breakdown in that perception. You might believe one thing, but others around you might believe another. And so it gives you an opportunity to see yourself objectively, because questions can really be asked where, people can say, hey, have you ever asked anyone how they view you as a leader? Have you taken in that information? And then when you took in that information, the question is, did you assess it? Did you say to yourself, hey, I really trust these people to know me. Let me take that and let me think about it as it relates to myself. And what do I agree with and what do I disagree with, right? So self-awareness, if you don't know what that is, it's really your ability to clearly and accurately reflect and introspect, right? And really pull the things out of you that are reality. Not what you want them to be, but what are they right now? Because if you know what they are right now, then you can make some intentional decisions to make shifts and changes that you desire or that you believe you need. So just keep in mind that a coach is responsible. Hey, Lyndon. Hey, Taylor. So a coach is responsible for making sure that they help you develop self-awareness. And here's kind of how you can develop your own self-awareness, right? You can think about what stories are you telling your clients, right? If you have a product or a service, you're trying to sell something, you're trying to move something, you want people to join in on your community, you have to be self-aware enough that you know the stories that you're telling. What are you telling people about you as a person? Not just in what you say out of your mouth, but also in your actions, in your marketing, in the things that you are putting together and presenting in front of people. Does it have an accurate representation of who you are now so that you can make a decision on where you want to go and what that looks like? Because remember, people are visual and auditory. A lot of people are also kinesthetic, but the point is, what are you putting in front of people to make them trust you, to make them believe believe your story and to make sure that they want to navigate with you and support you through your professional development or experience. So a coach can really help you with being self-aware. You don't even have to get a coach if you don't want one, but I am telling you that in order for you to be better in whatever you desire to do in your personal life or in your professional life or career, you have got to develop some self-awareness. And a coach can help you with, number one, they can ask you the right questions to get you to tell your story the way that resonates with the people that you are trying to reach. That's number one. Number two, coaches will do reflection exercises with you. And by that, I mean they ask you the right questions to help you be reflective and to help you be introspective, right? The next thing, coaches are supposed to give you honest feedback. So I'm going to tell you that sometimes you may be around, hey, Tasha, sometimes you may be around your family or you may be around people that you love. And because they love you, maybe they don't want to tell you something that'll hurt your feelings. Or maybe they don't want to say anything to you that they think is going to deter you from your mission. You've got to have some honest people around you. You have to find someone that will be around you and that will have a hard conversation with you about you. Now that don't mean that you got to take whatever that person says about you as the gospel. You don't. You have the ability to be self-aware enough to receive what people say, keep what it is that you need, and shit the rest out. I'm just being honest, right? So then the next thing is a coach can also help you with other methods of self-awareness. So I'll give you an example. Some coaches actually are DISC assessors, right? Some may also do there's lots of different personality assessments out there that you could do. Some coaches actually actively participate in that. So they have an assessment you could do. You could also do some online assessments. I tell people all the time, I start my people with, go do a love language assessment. I need to find out what your love language is, because if I know your love language, I can talk to you or I can present things to you the way you like to be loved on, because really people receive information in a way that is nurturing, and you have to understand how does that work for those people, right? Do they need a lot of words of encouragement? Do they need you to do an act of service? Like, being a coach, you might want to work on that touching on people, but you get what I'm saying, right? If you understand your love language, it helps you with better communicating with people. So the other thing, and I talked about, that's number one. Number one is that your coach or anyone, even yourself in this journey, you have to learn how to view yourself objectively. That's very important. Okay, that's number one. Number two, self-awareness helps clients improve their self-acceptance and well-being. Now, I want y'all to know that this is all tied to confidence, but I will share with you, coaches and someone that is mentoring you, and if they are asking the right questions and if they are navigating you through your own solutions, right, they really can help you understand what are the things about you that you are not accepting. What are you harboring some bitterness about? Why am I sharing that? Because my word today was Hebrews 12:15, and that was about really understanding that you have to do away with bitterness in your life. Whatever happened in the past, you need to let that go. Depression happens when we exist in our past, and anxiety happens when we exist in our future. So what do you need to do to accept you right now and just be? How do you be in the present? Because if you can learn how to master being right now, then becoming shouldn't be a problem for you. Okay, so thinking about self-acceptance, what is it about you that you're not accepting? You need to be aware of that, right? If you don't think you're attractive, if you don't think you're a good entrepreneur, if you don't think you're good with money, whatever your story is that you are speaking over yourself is going to impact you. You have to be self-aware enough to understand, what aren't you accepting? How can you fix that? What might possibly be triggering you? Hey, Christy. Hey, Tina. Hey, Tasha. Hey there. everybody that joined. So we're talking about 5 ways self-awareness can really help you if you become a coaching client, or if you want to coach people, or if you just decide I'm going to take this on my own and I want to learn how to be self-aware. So we're on number 2. We're talking about self-awareness can help you improve your self-acceptance, and it can also help you improve your well-being. I'm going to be honest with y'all. It is damn near impossible to be a successful entrepreneur if you don't possess self-awareness. If you do not weave well-being into your business and into your life, it's going to be a problem. Because let me tell you, being an entrepreneur is hard. Building your career and becoming and elevating yourself to the next level in your career is hard. And for some people, personal life is hard. But the thing is, you can't grow, you can't expand or be expansive if you have not figured out, one, how to check your well-being, how to do temperature checks for yourself throughout the day, how to accept what you can and cannot do. And that's okay. As a self-awareness tool, I tell my clients, we're going to focus on your strengths. We are not going to focus on your weaknesses, because you can always build a team to meet the area that you're weak in. That's what interviewing people is for. And if you don't know how to do that, you can hire a staffing agency to help you with putting people on your team that work well with your strength, but also can contribute in the ways that you are weak in. There is nothing wrong with having weaknesses as an entrepreneur. There is something wrong if you steady working on a weakness and know you ain't meeting the mark. Just hire someone to do that. Work in your gift. Work in the area that you are best at, because as a leader, you can grow with a team, because you're not meant to do all the things by yourself. Part of self-awareness is checking yourself so that you can learn how to interact with others. That's really important, right? So, item number 2, self-awareness can help clients recognize, like I said, your strengths, your values, your passions. Focus on your strengths. Because when you are living in your strength, number 1, it helps your well-being. If it's something you're good at, you can celebrate yourself all day, right? And that's what this life is about. Self-awareness is about knowing who you are and celebrating yourself. And then going and finding other people that you can put on the team, and y'all can have massive, expansive wins together. Right? But you need to be self-aware first before you can lead a team in growth, right? The other thing is that self-awareness really, really does help you deal with stress. It helps you deal with your emotions, and it also helps you deal with your challenges. I have to ask myself when I get upset about something, like, why are you triggered? So earlier today, I had somebody that consistently waits until the end of a work day to volley things into my court, and then expects an immediate answer. And I literally said, you know what? Let me go ahead and acknowledge that this person sent me this, but I'm not solving it right now because I'm working on something else. And they're going to have to be okay with that. I had to be self-aware enough to understand that it triggers me when people do something last minute and then they expect it to be my emergency. But what I learned is, well, Tiffany, they can have whatever expectation they want. But if I am self-aware enough to groom them in a way that works best for me and flows for me and them, baby, that's enough. Because I am enough, right? So you really got to learn what is triggering you. Because it may not be the people, it might be their action. Then you got to ask yourself, why does that trigger you? So here, y'all ready? My story. It triggers me because I like to be responsive. I like to immediately get things done because I don't want to run the risk of forgetting. And I know that means I'm going to have to do some extra stuff. So y'all, let me tell you, I use my tools. I flagged that email. I scheduled it for tomorrow, but I did acknowledge that I see it. Now I'm going to tell y'all, I ended up getting it done, and I ended up getting it done today, but I also ended up getting it done on my time, without stressing myself out, without firing off emails that was like, hey, now you know y'all are trying to, like, y'all done created this fire, and now you want me to run in and put the fire out. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. That you have to learn. So just, that's number 2. All right, I got to move forward. Number 3 is self-awareness helps clients achieve their goals and make better decisions, right? I want you to think about this, and I say this all the time, y'all. When the facts change, my opinion changes. Again, when the facts change, my opinion changes. What does that mean? Well, that means that if you're self-aware and you're okay with understanding that, you know, it's okay for you to change your mind. It is. That doesn't make you a hypocrite. It doesn't make you anything. Both things can exist. Yesterday, I felt like this, but now today I have a different set of data points. And now I feel like this. It is so okay. So you want to understand that all you are required to do is take in the data. That's it. Right? Take in the data and make the best decisions you can with the data that you have. But in order for you to make good decisions, you have to assess, where are you right now? What's going on with you right now? Why are you making this decision? And what is it connected to? Is this decision connected to a trigger? Do you want to work that root out first? Y'all feel me? Do you want to work that root out first? Because the trigger may be something that you haven't worked out. And the way you stop from being triggered by something is really getting to the root of it, so that the next time you encounter it, you can improve how you exist in it, right? So my trigger was rooted in the past. My trigger was rooted in how people have done things with me in the past. That doesn't mean it exists now. I have to learn that that's how I emoted, but going forward, how will I deal with it, right? So I made a better decision. The better decision was, Tiffany, calm down. You ain't got to do that right now. You do have to respond, because they want to know that, because they're going to calm down. They were feeling some anxiety, because they was living in the future based on when they wanted me to provide the information. Let me calm that down for you, and let me acknowledge, I see your request and I will work on it, and you'll receive it in the morning. That's what I told them. But baby, under promise and over deliver, right? I delivered it today. It's in that person's box for first thing in the morning. My point is that I made a better decision. So self-awareness clients, like, you can really clarify your vision, your purpose, and whatever your action plan is when you are working with a coach, and in some cases with a mentor. But you need to be intentional about it. Like, you need to know, where do you want to grow to? What is the purpose? How do you want to put that together? But you really got to be aware of yourself. I read one of my colleagues wrote something about single-mindedness and double-mindedness, right? And so here's the thing. You should be single-minded, in my opinion, when you are talking about your self-awareness. When you are finally ready to move forward with a vision or an action plan, you really should know where your focal point is. Where's the one place that you know for sure you're going? I do understand that double-mindedness comes in when you're in the decision-making process, because you're actually thinking about all the things that you can do, right? So that might be multiple things you're thinking about. But when we talk about biblical double-mindedness, we mean that, or that means that you can't exist in God and the world, or in your flesh, right? And in order for you to understand where you stay on that spectrum, you need to be self-aware. You need to understand, are you following the word? Are you following the purpose that the kingdom that God has for you in the kingdom? Or are you out here trying to operate in your flesh, and because of that, you're not being faithful to the thing that you believe that you are purposed to do? All right, so that's a lesson. Okay, the next item is going to be number 3, is still self-awareness. Clients achieve goals and make better decisions. But the other thing is that your coach could actually give you some tools, right? So with me, I learned something from Ashley Harris, and I have my clients go through revenue wheels, right? So that they can understand what portion of money are you getting from where, and then what goals do you need to set around that. There are also SMART goals. I get kind of tired of those, y'all, because that's kind of played out, but it's still very relevant. I just present it in a different way because people get kind of tired of the whole SMART goal thing. And then other thing is that they can help you with decision matrix. One of the things that I like to tell people to use is, if you've never heard of it, it is the Eisenhower matrix. And the Eisenhower matrix helps you with determining if it's urgent and important or if it's important. And it has 4 quadrants, and it really allows you to put your task into a priority so that you know that you're only working on things that are urgent or important, because the other things, I mean, if it's not important and it's not urgent, should it really be on your plate? Right? So coaches can really help you with tools because they spend a lot of time using tools to help them, 1, be self-aware as a coach, and then 2, to help you with moving forward in your self-awareness. So far we've done 3, we got 2 left. First one was self-awareness helps clients view themselves objectively. Number 2, self-awareness helps clients improve their self-acceptance and well-being. Number 3, self-awareness helps clients achieve their goals and make better decisions. Who doesn't want to make better decisions, y'all? I am telling you that when you are self-aware, you make better decisions because 1, you draw boundaries. 2, you identify exactly what it is that you want to do for you, what works best for you, and then you can move in that energy and that spirit with other people. All right. So number 4, y'all ready? Self-awareness helps clients communicate and relate more effectively. What did I just tell y'all? I am telling you that when you are self-aware, you move with others better. You move with others better when you have a better knowing of yourself. When you know you and you know what you want, you know what you will do, what you won't do. You know what you're not going to move into that's going to make you backslide. That's my whole thing now. Like, I don't participate with anybody that's going to cause me to backslide in my life. If it's going to cause me to go back to the old me, if I allow myself to go back to the old me because of the people that I'm surrounding myself with, and that includes clients, that's a no-go for me. That's an absolute no-go. The other thing is, if I am connecting with people that I feel like I'm being stagnant because they're not growing and I am not inspired, that's a no-go for me too. I need to be around people who inspire me, and that also includes clients, right? So get yourself somebody get your circle, get your life, and get some inspiration and motivation. Even if it comes internally and you hang around other people who have internal motivation and inspiration, then y'all vibe like that. But it does help you communicate better, because when you know who you are, it's easier for you to stand in that. When you know who you are, you show up every day as who you are. Like right now, like I'm doing this live, but it's so easy for me to do it, y'all, because I know who I am. I know that I am a trusted development expert. I know these things work because I've done these things for myself, and I have participated in these things with my clients, and I have watched them grow. So, what are some things about communicating and relating more effectively, right? I already talked about it's going to help you with finding your target audience better if you're an entrepreneur. But also, it helps you talk to your family. It helps you talk to your team. It helps you communicate from a place of authenticity. I've been talking about that. That's another thing that I talked about on the Business Breakthrough Summit that I was on. We talked about leading in authenticity and building a culture of trust. You cannot do those things if you don't know who you are, if you're not showing up for yourself authentically. So, self-awareness clients understand their communication styles better and their preference needs. If you are out here and you really don't know how you prefer for people to communicate with you, I need you to go ahead and get that in check. Like, what do you need? Right? What avenues do you prefer? Like depending on how you feel, you may not want a phone call. You might want a text message. You may want an email, right? Depending on how you feel, when you have to have a difficult conversation, you might want to be in person, or you might want to be on the phone. You may be a person that says, I got to stop and think before I react and respond, because I got to get my bearings together, because I want to be able to communicate when I am not emotional, when I am fact-based, right? But you got to know you. You have to know you to understand exactly how you communicate best, right? If you know you and you're self-aware, you know how you communicate, right? And then that way, when you are showing up authentically in your communication with your target audience, with your team, with your family, right? When you show up as who you are and you know what you need and you want, you are actually communicate better. So the next thing is understanding when you're communicating with people, how do they need to be communicated with? And some of that you will instinctively know, because when you're aware of yourself and you start engaging with other people, you kind of proactively, you know what they need. But the question is, are you aware enough to decide whether or not you actually want to give that to them? That's important. A lot of times we know what people need, but we don't want to give it to them. You have to ask yourself why. Why are you being resistant in that way? Why are you being resistant in giving people what they need to be the best that they can be, right? So the other thing that a coach can help you with is they can help you, I mentioned this before, you could actually do like a DISC assessment or personality assessment that really kind of helps you with understanding, like if you do a DISC assessment, you can understand how you operate in team settings and how you also operate by yourself. Also, lastly, for number 4, self-awareness actually helps you with building rapport. We talked about building trust, and then we also talked about when you're self-aware and you communicate well, you can actually get to a point where you can express some empathy, right? Because now you know you. So when you engage with someone, you can understand and meet them where they're at, right? We hear that all the time. Meet people where they're at. But the reason why we have a problem with meeting people with where they are at, because we don't know where we are. Right? So you got to get, that's part of self-awareness. So that's number 4. So for those of you that joined, hello everyone. Thank you for joining. We are going over the 5 ways that self-awareness can assist you if you are a coaching client, if you are coaching people, or if you just want to be more aware for yourself. So the first one was self-awareness helps clients view themselves objectively. Number 2, self-awareness helps clients improve self-acceptance and well-being. Number 3, self-awareness helps clients achieve their goals and make better decisions. And number 4 is self-awareness helps clients communicate and relate more effectively. If you just came onto the live, hey there, Chef. If you just came onto the live, it's worth it for you to go back when I post it so that you can see it, because I gave some detail on each of the 4 that we've already gone over. We are on number 5. So number 5 is self-awareness helps clients unleash their creativity and their potential. So let me talk to you a little bit about that, right? A lot of times business owners or career-minded people even, they have a lot of things in them that they want to get out and they want to be creative. But the problem is that they may tell people and people say to them, you all over the place, right? It's possible. You could be all over the place. But the question is, are you self-aware enough to understand when can you launch these rockets? You cannot launch all the rockets at one time because you're not going to be able to keep up with them. And then you're going to be overwhelmed. So what you want to do is you want to do some stack ranking. And I really need to do a live on that, y'all. But you really want to do some stack ranking. First of all, what are your creative ideas, right? Write them down. Then I want you to list them in order of priority. What is it that you have right now that you actually have enough resources to support yourself in that creative endeavor? And then I want you to go in and prioritize all of your ideas in that way. And again, maybe tomorrow's live will be about stack ranking, creativity, and that. But you want to think about your creativity and your potential. Number 1, a coach can really help you outline what are your talents. Right? Because some of us have a business and we are not operating in our actual talent. We are actually operating in doing whatever we need to do to get a check. But the truth of the matter is that's not going to bring you happiness. It's not going to bring you peace. The way that you get peace is really identifying what are you talented at? What do you really like to do? What is your gift? Right? Then also, how do you tie that to your interest and your passion, right? So I'm doing what I do. I love to share things with people. I'm already going to do that. And shit, I like to talk, right? Next thing is, how do I connect that to speaking engagements? Next is, how do I connect that to creating documents for people that they can use. The next thing is, how do I use that to travel? Because my interests and hobbies are, I love to travel. So my thing is, a coach can really help you navigate through pulling those things together. And here's why. Because coaches generally will ask you to do some type of brainstorming activity, or they will do something like maybe a mind mapping, because I do mind mapping with my clients. The other thing is journaling. Everybody knows I journal. Y'all, my journal is actually right there behind me on the bed. Don't know if you can see it, because I am journaling right after I finish this live. So my point is that those activities can really help you navigate through your creativity and what your next steps will be. But it also can help loosen you from feeling like you have to do everything right now. You don't. It is okay for you to have 11 creative ideas, but it's also okay for you to understand you can't launch that many at one time. So really being able to revert to brainstorm, prioritize, and then reverse logistic how you're going to launch those things, right? And then the next thing is, self-awareness really can help you with exploring what your next steps are. Like, what are the possibilities in your business, in your life, in your career? What are some opportunities that you may come up on? But then also, it's very important for you to do some risk mitigation. Right? You have to mitigate the risk. Like, what are some challenges that you may run into? Are you self-aware enough to understand that? What do I mean? Let's say you make a decision that you want to, I'm going to use chef as an example. So let's say you are a chef and you make amazing food, but then is there an opportunity for you to do a cookbook? Right? And if there's an opportunity for you to do a cookbook, what challenges might exist in that? How long might that take you? Right? Is there an opportunity for you to coach people in a way, not just doing cooking classes, but perhaps coach people to learn how to cook the cuisine that you cook, because it's maybe something they want to add to their repertoire, right? What does that look like? Maybe you can consult people, right? What does that look like? What challenges may come along with that? But also, a coach can literally help you see the possibilities. Like, I went and talked to a sales coach, and he talked to me about bolting on businesses in a way that would help grow assets in my business. Y'all, that gave me my whole life. And that's what coaches in very specific categories are for. I love to coach people for professional development, whether that's career development or business development. But I literally center my coaching around self-awareness and situational awareness. One, I need to make sure that you are aware of yourself. And two, you need to understand clearly the reality of your situation so that we can uncover the possibilities and then see the challenges and the opportunities that exist for you. So, that's what I have for y'all. If this was great, please drop me a note. I'm glad that people joined and said hi. But if you heard anything that worked for you, please leave me a comment and tell me what gem worked for you. Tell me what you took away from this, what resonated with you. That is very important, because I want to keep doing lives that matter, that are really helping people. So drop me a note. The other thing is, if you enjoyed this, please tag somebody that you think needs to hear it. I'm not saying you go find your friends and say you ain't self-aware enough. No. Any business owner that you know that is interested in possibly getting a coach, maybe they need to hear this, because maybe they need to understand what can come along with coaching, or maybe they just need to hear why self-awareness is so important in their life. Or they might want to hire me, and that's fine too. But my job is really to give you some valuable information so that people can make some decisions, because I am starting to market myself as the trusted development expert, because it's something I'm really good at, and I know it because I have developed myself. All the things that you see now is because I went and got a coach, because I had mentors, because I talked to people to get myself where I need to be, because I understood very clearly that as I go, so does my business. My business is existing in whatever space I'm existing in. And that means that I have to focus on myself and my well-being so that my business can be healthy. So until the next time that I talk to y'all, bye.